Hello, what is up everyone? This is John with WebDev for you, here to help you build awesome websites without code in Webflow. If you're new to the live streams, I do these live streams every Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central. We go over everything Webflow, from building layouts, building animations and interactions, and I also provide support via the super chat feature in YouTube. So if you need help with a personal project or you have questions about something specific in Webflow, you can just drop a super chat. Any amount is fine. I see it as more of a donation to the channel. But yeah, you can drop a super chat and I'd be happy to help you with your question. All right, so today, I think it might be the last day for building with the client-first style system. So the agenda for today is to continue to build with the client-first style system. Then from 12:30 to 12:40, I'll field any questions about the build. And then 12:40 to 1, we'll have a general Webflow discussion and I'll field any super chats. So just to recap what we've been building the last few days. So I'll go to the site here. So we've built this site using the client-first style system. If you're not familiar with client-first, it is by Finsweet. It is a style system that they've created to help you stay more organized with your class names and the structure of your site, so that if you're working with a client or with somebody else, you can be on the same page with that other person or team. So I think they did a good job. There's definitely a learning curve to it. But if you're willing to watch all the videos and read the content on their site in the documentation section, then I think you should have a pretty good understanding of how to use it. Also, if you watch my previous live streams, I cover how to use it, and from reading the documentation, I go over how to use it, and we built this site here using the method. So I'll go into the site. I'll go ahead and quickly get started. Hey Dylan, how's it going? I'll go ahead and get started. I'll give a quick recap of client first. So basically the structure, how they lay it out is here. So you start with the page wrapper, the nav component, then the main wrapper, and then you have your sections. The section has some page padding, and then a container in the section. And then you can add your components inside of the container. So if we look at the structure of the site, we have the page wrapper, we have the nav component, we add the main wrapper, and inside of the main wrapper, we have the section home header, section about us, section companies, section how it works, and section portfolio. And then if you open each section has padding extra large. Then we have a container large in each section. And then we have the components. So the big kind of caveat, or the big difference with the style system that took me a moment to get used to, is applying margin to parent element and not to the actual element. So this heading, we're not applying any margin or padding. If we wanted to add margin, we'd have to place it in a parent div and apply the margin global classes to the parent div. And then for components, you want to use the component style naming convention. So it's the name of the component and then underscore kind of a more detailed explanation of the element. So this is the portfolio grid, and then inside the portfolio grid we have portfolio underscore item. So Manuel, okay, let me answer Eric. Hello Eric. He asked, will you continue using the system or incorporate some aspects of it? That's a great question, Eric. I'm yet to decide. I think I'll have a better idea once I switch back to my own system, and then I'll see if there's anything I want to take from this system and apply it to my own system. So tomorrow I think I'll switch back to using my own style naming convention, which is pretty basic. It's just, I use a lot of wrappers and I apply margin and padding to wrappers, and I use sections, containers, and wrappers. And by wrappers, I mean div blocks that wrap elements inside of it. And I like the idea of being able to apply margin and padding to specific elements. I find it makes my build a bit faster. So we'll see if I take anything away from the client first system. Someone will ask, John, did you submit something for the no code speed challenge? Yeah, it's a great question, Manuel. I did think about it. I feel like since I was an employee at Webflow, I'm not sure I want to compete or participate. I just think it would be a little bit weird if a previous employee of Webflow ended up winning or something like that. And maybe that's just my own idea, so I'll have to kind of see if that's what I want to do or if it still feels a bit weird. But yeah, it's kind of like I have a little bit of an advantage, I feel, having worked there for a while and, you know, having worked with it every single day for a few years. But it could be my own kind of thinking. Maybe it's okay that I apply. Yeah, they don't say anything about previous employees not being able to compete or participate, but that's just my own thinking. Cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish out this build. We're going to be building this section here using client first. And funny, it says client here. That's interesting. So this is a slider. You know, it doesn't look like a slider, but it's basically a testimonial section. Or let's see. This right side is a slider. I'm gonna make this right side a slider, and I'm gonna make these two buttons, and I'm going to so it's gonna be two elements, one left and right, and the right is gonna have a slider. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna call this section Testimonials. So in the main wrapper, I'll add a section, and I'll add a section, and I'll call this section Testimonials. And in here I'll add a div block, and I'll do padding extra large, and we'll add a container in here. We'll do a container, and I'll make this container large. And then we'll add our elements. So this is going to be the testimonial component. So I'll add a div block in the container, and I'll call it testimonials underscore content wrapper. And then in here, we'll add a left side. So testimonial left, or testimonials underscore contents left, or left content. And we'll add another div block, and I'll call this testimonials right underscore right dash content. Then for the testimonials content wrapper, we'll set it to flex and horizontal. The left, let's make it 40% in width, and the right will say 60%. Okay, so in the left content, let's see what we have. We have an H2 heading, a paragraph, and these buttons that I'm going to grab from the slider. So let's add the heading. Let's make it an H2. And how our client thinks about how our clients think about our performance. How our clients think about our performance. Okay, that looks good. I like the spacing. Let's add a paragraph, and let me just copy this text. And I'm going to place this heading in a div block. And I'm going to give this div block. So this is what I was talking about, the client first system. You have to put elements inside of a parent element, and then you want to assign the margin to that parent element. So I would say margin bottom, and then I would say margin medium. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And okay, so now we can add the slider. So yeah, so in the testimonials write content, I'm going to add a slider, and I'm going to call this testimonials _ slider. And let's go to slide 1. So I'll call this testimonials slide _ slide. And basically, let's see here. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting layout. I'm wondering. I might use grid for this. Yeah, just trying to picture this layout. So we have the paragraph, we have this, we have this. I'm gonna try flex first. Let's try flex. And let's make this slider, the height is 500. So we'll make the slider 500 pixels in height. And yeah, and then in the testimonial slide, we'll add a div block. So I'll add a div, and we'll say testimonials slide dash wrapper. We'll set it to a position of absolute and full, so it fills the entire slide. So the reason I'm doing this is because you can't apply a flex setting to the slide. You see how it's grayed out? So we have to add a div block inside of the slide, and then I can set it to flex horizontal, and I can add 2 div blocks side by side in here. So here I'm going to say div block, and I'm going to say testimonials slide slide left. Okay, we'll try that. And then I'll add another one, and we'll say testimonials _ slide right. Okay. And we'll do 50%. We'll make them 50 and 50%. I could do grow if possible, but let me just add a percentage, 50% and 50%. Okay, so we have that. Okay, that's good. There goes my dog again, right on cue. So let's see here. So let me go to unsplash.com and portrait images, and just grab some people. Person, how about that? There we go, that's better. So we'll do this guy, we'll do this girl, this guy. Yeah, I'm just looking for people that look like they're saying a testimonial. Okay, sure. Yeah, so we have that, and yeah, let me set the slide background to transparent. Okay, and then let me go into my Finder and just resize these. Did it resize all of them? Yeah, I think it did. Okay. This one, okay, yep, it's resized. Just drop that in there. Okay. And yeah, so let me add a background image here. Set it to cover and center, and I don't need it to be tiled. Okay, and then for this image, I'm going to give a radius of 8 pixels, some rounded corners, and then in the testimonial slide right, I'm going to set it to a position of relative. I'm going to add a text block, and I'm going to say testimonials quote. And then I'm going to double click, put quotation marks, and we're going to use Playfair display, and it's going to be huge. So it's going to be, yeah, those aren't the quotes I was looking for. Okay, so I'm going to have to export this as a SVG export, and we're going to delete this testimonials quote. Go into Webflow. I'll drag and drop this in here, and then I will add an image, and we'll grab this SVG, and I'll say testimonials quote image, and I'll say position absolute, top right, and we need to set testimonial slide left to relative, so it goes inside of here, and then we'll just move it to the right, something like this. Okay, so it matches this style here. Then we have this text here at the bottom, so let's go ahead and add that to the testimonials slide right. We don't need the slide nav, so I'm just gonna say display none, and let's rename it testimonials _ slide nav. Okay, so here we have a paragraph, so I'll go ahead and add the paragraph. For the testimonial slide right, I'll set it to flex and bottom, position it at the bottom. Then we have, I'm going to call that an H3 heading right here for the name. And let's set this to vertical and bottom. And I'm going to say H3, perfect. And it's Briellen Gotch. Okay, let me set this to left. And we have a text here. So a text block. Excuse me, that was weird. CEO of Black Eye. Okay, interesting company name, and it's testimonials would this person be person title? I'll just say person dash title. And then I'll say here, I'll make it italic. And that's fine. And let me just copy this text. Nope. This text here. And I'll paste that there. Okay, so it's coming along. It's looking pretty similar. Now what we have to do is, yeah, definitely adjust the spacing. So for the paragraph, I'm going to add a div block, place the paragraph in there. Again, I'm going to say margin bottom, and I'll say margin medium. Okay, we need to add some padding to this testimonials slide right. So I'll add a div block, and I'll place all of this inside of the div block. And we will say padding, yeah, padding, let's do large, nope. Padding, maybe small, maybe medium. So again, I'm using the client first global classes. So when I type in padding medium or padding in general, we can see all the different classes we have for padding. So I'll do padding, yeah, padding small. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Or did I say padding medium initially? It was medium. Sorry about that. Padding medium. All right, cool. And then we'll copy this testimonials quote image. I'll place it in here. And we'll say, give it a combo class of 2. Or maybe right. Or how about bottom right? And here I'll just set it to the bottom right and move it. Nope, that's not working. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. How about I just move it down? Why is this is this overflow hidden? Oh yeah, it doesn't go outside of the slide. In that case, let me look at the spacing. This should be right around here. And this text, so let me change the padding to small. No, I liked medium. How about we set this to 30%? And we set this to 70%. Yeah, I like that a bit more. And then we will add some padding to this. So I'll just add a div block, place that in there, and this in there, and I'll say padding medium. No, actually padding right, and we'll say padding medium. Nah, that doesn't quite work. Let me undo that. Yeah, I think that looks good. Unless we set this slide left to 40% and the slide right to 60%. Almost, about 45 and 55. Yeah, that's about right. We do still want some padding to this though, for sure. So content left, add a div. And we'll say padding, or we could add, no, I'll do padding right. And let's do padding large. Or would margin work better here? Let me try margin. Margin right. Margin medium. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's fine. Just want a little bit more space there. Yeah. And actually when we view it, and you know what's causing a bit of a discrepancy is that the navigator was opened and it was kind of changing the layout a bit. So let me close the navigator, make sure we're viewing the site here. Kind of correctly. So 40%, yeah, it looks good. Okay, so I definitely, let's see here, content margin rate. No, I definitely want padding. So padding right and padding, let's do large. Yeah, it's not bad. We'll go with that. Okay, cool. And if I resize, yeah, I like that. We'd have to change it for tablet and mobile. Thanks for your help migrating the hosting yesterday. Webflow support was able to hook me up in a few hours. Nice. Hey Mon, what's up? Happy to hear it, Nick. Yeah, so Webflow support is awesome, for sure. I should know I was there for a while. Cool. So far it's looking good. Let me design these buttons. So for the buttons, I'm going to say testimonials left dash arrow. I'm going to make it 100 by 100 and give it a background color of, let's say this blue. I'm going to say position, absolute bottom left. I'm going to move it to the left 40%. Maybe 50. And then we'll grab the right arrow. I'll say testimonials underscore right arrow, right dash arrow. Set it to 100 by 100. Position it in the bottom left. Give it a background color here. And I'll move it over. So this is 20%. So this should be maybe 30% or 40. Just eyeballing it there at 39. Okay, so we have our slide. We can go to the next one. And nice. So what I would do here is, let me do something like this. Is I would delete the second slide and just copy this first slide a few times. Let's do 4. And then I would just go into, you have to go into the element settings to change slides. So I'm on the second slide. I will select this image, give it a combo class of slide dash 2. So Pablo writes, hey John, I got a question for you. Do you ever use the header tag? If so, where as a parent of the nav bar? I don't typically, you mean like here? Yeah, I don't typically use that, Pablo. Maybe I could research that a bit more. I've never used the header tag here. Now we'll just, Alyssa, Johnson, I don't know. And then, cool. And then we'll go to the third slide. Select the image, and I'll say slide -3 for the combo. Change the background image to Sarah Jest. I'm just coming up with names. And the fourth image, slide -4. And cool. What this Pablo Cortez? No, I'm sorry. You probably don't look like that. Pablo, I don't know. Yeah. Pablo, sorry about that, Pablo. What's a good last name? Pablo. No. Anybody got a last name? Pablo. I don't know. Why can't I think of a last name? Pablo Curry. I've been watching Steph Curry lately, and he's been amazing. So sure. Okay, so I'll preview, and we got our slider. Cool. Got testimonials. Cool. And is there anything else? Yeah, I want to see if I want to change this to Crossfade. Let's try Crossfade. Yeah, I like Crossfade. That's nice. Pablo Picasso. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's do it. Pablo Picasso. There you go. All right, cool. So we have that section done. And yeah, I guess I'll finish this. I'll do one more section. Let me read what's been written here in the chat. That guy's beard game is hella strong. Facts. I think you're referring to, let me publish it. That first guy, he's got a strong beard game. I can never grow a beard, even if I tried. It would take me like years to grow a beard. Yeah, this guy. I mean, imagine how long that must have taken. Yeah, I tried growing a fro once. That did not work. Okay, so let's see. So probably, okay, yeah, so the header tag, I don't really use it. So C7407 wrote, just catching up on the video, I have a question. By using client first, do you ever add any margins padding manually, or is it all done in the classes? Thanks. Yeah, so I think the goal is to not add margin and padding manually. The goal is to use their system to add margin and padding. So throughout this build, I do not add margin and padding to any elements. I always use the div blocks and apply it to the divs. So just to try to stay true to this, this style system. So we have margin here, you have the direction, and then you have the size. And then there's a few custom margins that you can use to create your own custom margins if you needed to. And they have padding here, same thing, padding direction, padding size, and things like that. Okay, and they're using the 4-point system, so I think that's why they don't really want you to add your own spacing or margin and padding. I think the point is to use their style system. But yeah, that's what I found a bit difficult about the system. I wasn't used to using preset margins and paddings, you know, and going by a specific like large, medium, small size. For me, when I build a template or a site, I usually just kind of eyeball, or the spacing is already set in the Figma file, so I try to stay true to that. So this took me a moment to get used to, as far as like using rems for margin and padding and applying it to a parent div block. So Eric wrote, yeah, hopefully that answers your question, C7407. Eric wrote, random question, is there a difference between moving the position of the arrows like you just did and transforming them to the left instead? Yeah, I don't think there is. You know, you probably could use margin too. Like, there's probably many ways to do it. So instead of negative 39% in absolute, you know, let me try removing that, just setting it to auto. I could do negative 39% for the margin, and that would work as well. I don't know. I just find, because I'm positioning it absolute, I like using this positioning here. We could also go to transforms and just move it on the x-axis, you know, negative 39% or 39%. I guess negative 39 wouldn't work here. Yeah, you'd have to figure out what the percentage is. Just keep in mind when you're using transforms, and let's say you want to apply an interaction, the transforms sometimes conflict with the interaction. So there's many ways to do it. Sometimes using a specific method over another is preferred, depending on what else you're doing with the site. So yeah, for me, I just like using the absolute positioning option here. Great question though, great question. Because yeah, there's many ways to move an element. Okay, so Dylan sent me a super chat. I will check that in a second. Pablo Escobar, nice. Cool. So let me add one more section and then we'll go to Dylan's super chat. Let's see here. Yeah, I appreciate the super chats, Dylan. I'll add a section. So the next section we're going to add is this context section. This will be very easy. Oh yeah, actually let's do that right now. Let's make this responsive for mobile. So on tablet, that looks like a mess. So let me go into the content wrapper, and here rather than horizontal, I'll set it to vertical. And then the testimonial left, I'll set it to 100%. And the testimonial right, I'll set it to 100%. Okay, that's looking good. And then, yeah, this is where it gets weird. So yeah, I had difficulty with responsiveness on using client first. I think what they want you to do here, so for example, actually, you know what? No, it's not going to be that difficult. So for testimonials left content, I'm going to give it a combo class of is tablet, for example, or is mobile. I'll just consider tablet mobile, even though I don't want to, but I'm going to do the same for mobile. And then I'll give some margin to the bottom of 2 rems, maybe 3 rems. And I'll add some spacing that way. Yeah, this still looks good on tablet, this slider. And then the buttons, we will the buttons, where are they? Left arrow, we'll just say 0%, and right arrow, we'll say 0%, and we'll actually move it to the right, maybe 20%, maybe 22. Cool. And I'm okay with the buttons being there, that's fine. So on tablet, the user can view it like this. Then we get to mobile landscape. It's getting a little bit tight. So what I would do here is select the right side, and I would say, wait, let me see here, testimonial slide right. Okay, here we go. Testimonials. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, right. So we have the testimonial slider. Okay, here it is. Testimonials write content. So yeah, we would go into the testimonial slide wrapper and we set it to vertical. And slide left, we have to give it a specific height. So I would say 500 pixels and 100%. Maybe not 500, I would do 700. No, yeah, 500. And the slide wrapper, or the slider, I would remove this. I would set it to auto. And the slide left, 500 pixels. Slide right, no, that didn't quite work. So the testimonial slider, maybe I would do like 700 pixels. Yeah, just make it taller. And then, so we have that. The quote, I would move it to 0%. Then we have this section. So I might give a height to this of like 300 pixels. And 100%. I typically don't like adding height to elements. Yeah, we'll remove that height. And for these buttons, we'll just move them up like this. Yeah, so when you're working with absolute position, you do have quite a bit of flexibility as far as like how elements are positioned. And what I would do actually is just remove, no, that's not gonna work. Maybe I'll set it to relative. Nope. Yeah, let me undo that. I might try something like this, but they're not aligned. So yeah, I would work with these buttons to make sure they're aligned correctly. Yeah, but that's the idea. You know, mobile definitely doesn't look great. We do have to make this responsive as well, this grid. So for this grid, I would change it and I would make it maybe 5 columns. Yeah, I would have to like completely redesign this. Maybe do this, something like that. And then go in here, that looks okay. And then in here, that does not look okay. So I would change this to maybe just 2 columns. And then just play with this. Voila. Yeah, this definitely needs more work here. So on mobile here, I would just set this to 50 by 50, make it smaller. Yeah, that's better. Move this up a little bit. These buttons. Yeah, let me set it to 50 by 50. No, we'll leave it that size here. On mobile landscape, we'll do 50 by 50. The icons, so I'll say testimonials underscore slider arrow icon. And we'll make it 0.5 rem, or how about 1 rem? And here we'll say 1 rem, or actually just give it the same class name. So testimonials, slider, arrow, icon. So here's the reason why client first wants you to use keywords for your different sections, because now that I'm working on the testimonial section, all I have to do is type in testimonials, and I can just search for the class that corresponds to the testimonial element I'm working on. So here I want to use testimonials slider arrow icon. I can just click on it and use that class. All right, so yeah, that's mobile. I think it looks pretty good. Not bad. That's tablet. These buttons are not great. I do not like it. Yeah, they're a bit off here. All right, I would work on that. So tablet. I'd probably put these arrows maybe in the top right. Let's try that. That's better. Use that blank space. And then these I would put in the bottom right. Something like that. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's how I would approach that. I'd obviously fine tune it a bit more, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how I would approach the mobile build. Okay, so I'll quickly start this next section. I want to get to Dylan's super chat. This next section is going to be very easy. So it's just going to be I'm going to call it the newsletter section. Yeah, newsletter section. Okay. Yeah, so we have the section. I'm going to call it section-newsletter. Okay, we'll add a div. We'll give it the padding extra large. Then we'll add in here the container. We'll say container large. Then we'll add a div. And then we'll say newsletter underscore background, or newsletter content wrapper. And we'll add some padding. I'm losing my voice, sorry. Div, and we'll say padding extra large. Okay, the newsletter content wrapper, we're going to give it a background color of, let's use this color here, and we'll give it a border radius of 8. Maybe even more, maybe like 30. Okay, and then in here we're going to add a heading. It's going to be an H2, and I'll just copy this. Want to get notified about upcoming information. Want to get notified about upcoming events. I like that a bit better. And we'll say testimonials testimonials underscore heading, and we'll center it. And then I'm going to add a div block, put this in here. Into this div block, we're going to give it a max width of medium. And the testimonials heading, I'm going to say auto. No, that's not going to work. Let me delete this div block. Hold on. So I'm going to testimonials heading, center it, and give it a combo class max width medium. and then set, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, this is where it gets kind of weird. Newsletter content wrapper, so I think I can do flex and center. Yeah, and then I can actually remove this alignment from the center. And now I think I can add the max width medium. No. Crap. Yeah, I still want it to be centered. Okay, and then I'll just add a form in here. So the newsletter should be vertical and centered. And this form should be, let's do newsletter form. And this should actually be newsletter heading. Okay, in the form, we'll set it to, let's say 80% or 60. And then I'll just delete this here. Okay, we'll just say email. Or we'll delete this field and we'll just put some placeholder text that says enter your email address here. Okay, and we'll work on this tomorrow with the submit button, but I'll just do something like newsletter underscore submit dash button. We'll change the background color to this red. All right, so yeah, cool, we're done with this section. I want to get to Dylan's super chat, so let me check my email. Let's preview the site in the browser. Yeah, it's looking good. Nice. Yeah, we'll work on this. This needs a little bit of work. But we added a slider, looks good. Got a grid of images, noise. And it's pretty responsive. Not perfect, but you know, we spent a few minutes just on it, so. Yeah, these buttons should be smaller here. All right. Yeah, and the mobile menu definitely needs work. Cool. So yeah, let's check out Dylan's super chat. Okay, so Dylan just writes he's having a bit of a few issues making the site responsive. So let's work on that. All right, I'll try to help as much as I can in these last few minutes here, Dylan. Okay, so I see this, that looks off. And desktop. Okay, desktop, you have the image, the bottle, content. This has, what has the border? Bottle content. Okay, that has a border right. div block. Okay. So I'm referring to the product slider in product description section at the top on mobile. Okay, so the slider, I would not use pixels here. I would say 100% for the width of the slider. Yeah, I would say 100%. That's already looking a little bit better. And then for this div block, let's see, let's look at the grid. Yeah, I don't think that looks bad. It's a little squished on mobile, so maybe on mobile, I would change the grid to be one column, and it puts the content beneath it. And then I would remove some of this padding here. And I would add some bottom padding. And I would remove the negative margin. And this negative margin here. So I probably wouldn't need this padding. I would use margin here instead. Okay, this probably wouldn't need so much padding. Something like that. And we have some issues here. Let's see. So div block 61 has negative margin. It shouldn't change on desktop, no. Yeah, desktop should stay the same because we're just working on the tablet version. And the mobile. So when styles cascade down, they don't affect the previous layout. Yeah, so I would just work with the margin on some of this. So basically the main things make the slider 100% width on tablet, and then this becomes visible, this content on the right. And then on mobile landscape, change the grid 10, change it to one column, and then just work on the spacing, like the margin and padding for these elements. And I think you should be good to go. Yeah, and you might want to work on some of the borders on the different elements. And this form, let's see, this form block, I would set it to 100%. Let's see here. Yeah, I would remove this padding on the subscribe button. You know, if you want to set a width, maybe 100 pixels. And yeah, remove the padding here on the button. There we go. And then I could remove this width and just add padding to both sides or all around, something like that. Cool. Yeah, that's looking better. That's what I thought, but it doesn't apply to collection lists. Do you mean the borders, Dylan? I'd have to spend time. Borders can get in depth. Yeah, I'd have to spend a bit more time on the borders. But yeah, slider 100% width, set the grid to one column on tab on mobile landscape, and I think you'll start to get some better results. I don't know why these images disappeared down here, so that's weird. All right, so it is 1 o'clock. Hopefully that helped, Dylan. Just try that out. Let me know how you go. Yeah, I would definitely work with the spacing here. Oh, it's the flex. There we go. Yeah, I would change the flex setting, and then there's that button there. That's kind of weird. Is it absolute? Why is it stuck up there? Oh, that's negative. Okay, there we go. And what is select size? Yeah, I would try to find these and move them around. Something like this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Oh, this size text. Okay. And okay. Yeah, brand doesn't need that. Yeah, I would just work with this. Yeah, hopefully that helps, Dylan. We are past 1 o'clock, but I would just work with some of the margin and padding and the spacing. And yeah, hopefully the few things I mentioned helped here. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Dylan, we can continue tomorrow. Oh, the collection lists are on the first page, but okay, no probs. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe we'll have to revisit this tomorrow. But yeah, let me know. Just send me a message tomorrow, and I'll take another look tomorrow. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks everyone who's here. I'm enjoying seeing the viewer count go up on my live streams. So it means more people are watching, which is great. I think Webflow is an amazing and super powerful tool when it comes to web design, and I'm happy to be sharing this information. For those of you who have pain points with WordPress, I definitely think Webflow is an amazing alternative, if not the alternative to your web design conundrums, if I could put it that way. Webflow just includes everything, and it's a great system to build sites with. So yeah, that's it for this live stream. Check out my website, webdevforyou.com. I have templates. I have a new template coming out soon, hopefully, once it gets approved. And you can go to interactions, check out the different layouts and animations for free that I've built. You can check out my YouTube channel that you're on. I have a few resources here, and you can contact me via the contact page. All right, thanks everyone. And I enjoyed today's super chat. If you like the client first system, just go to finsweet.com/client-first. And you can read their documentation, watch their videos, and get the clonable for your own project and start using the client-first style system for your site. If you like that way of naming classes and applying margins and paddings that way, and using the rem units and things like that. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Let me know if you have any questions. You can write it in chat tomorrow, or send me a message via my contact page. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.